Okay, so we are preparing for some hurricane type weather. We're in Mebane, North Carolina, so I don't anticipate it's going to be all that bad here. But I am going to spend some time here in my garage practicing my first cabinet build. I have plans to make just a small over-the-range cabinet, and I intend to build cabinets for my wife's kitchen in our new house. We're actually doing a second kitchen for her online bakery, so I want to make the cabinets myself as opposed to going with the store-bought cabinet. I just don't think the quality is going to be good enough, and it's also a unique space that's going to require some custom stuff to really get the best use out of the space. I make them myself. It's still a few months away until I actually get the house, so this gives me some time to do some practice and get them prepped ahead of time. I have a Craig jig here that I bought. That's going to be how I build these cabinets. So basically I have a 4 foot by 2 foot piece of plywood here, and I'm building these as frameless cabinets. This is going to be over the range wall cabinet. It'll be 18 inches high, 30 inches wide, and I'm doing 11 3/4 deep so that I can cut down a 2x4 sheet of plywood here and use both halves for the cabinet, and that takes into account the width of the saw blade, whereas if I tried to do just a full 12 inches, it would be just a little bit off, so that's why I'm backing down to 11 3/4, and that'll give us a nice over-round size. These won't have doors on them, at least that's not the plan, is for them not to start off, so it'll be an open cabinet concept. But if I did add doors, 3/4 inch plywood, it would make it a nice 12.5 inch deep cabinet. I'm going to do a 3/4 inch box, top, bottom, sides, and back, and that'll give me a nice solid constructed piece to screw right into the wall. So we have 11.75 inch cabinet, 3/4 inch plywood back. That still gives me an 11 inch box inside, and so I think that'll be a decent size. Losing that 1/4 of an inch really won't matter too much. That was much easier. Definitely the way to go. I obviously don't have a table saw currently, or I'd be using it here, but I do intend to get one. It is on my wish list, but I wanted to do this project without buying one as a proof of concept to make sure that I want to go down this route before investing in a table saw. I definitely think I'll be picking one up in the near future. Currently going back and forth between picking up a rigid to match these tools or a Ryobi. I seem to eye towards tools from the Home Depot instead of Lowe's, although I do shop at Lowe's for quite a few things. Okay, got things cleaned up here a little bit. Make some marks where I want the pocket holes to go. This was my first time using the Craig jig. I really liked using it. It was very easy to use, and I think it does a great job creating those pocket holes. If you're watching this and spotting things that I'm doing wrong, feel free to let me know in the comments, but this is supposed to be a beginners for beginners video. I'm not pretending to be an expert craftsman in any way. This is just my putting my skills to work that from watching videos on YouTube and looking things up online and just common sense. So I'm just playing around here, and I'm sure my skills will get better the longer I do this, but this is just to give some other people some inspiration for how you can simply get started with a couple hand tools, a couple power tools here, and start building your own cabinets. I don't have any formal education in doing woodworking. I'm actually a director of technology. I just picked this up as a hobby and look forward to all kinds of projects in our new house. So let me show you what happened there. When I screwed this one in the first time, it kind of kicked in a little bit. I want it flush, so with this one up here, I kind of pulled the top piece this way a little bit, so that as it screwed in, it kicked that way and brought it together, and now it's pretty much flush. You might be noticing that the drills are placed with the logo facing the camera. That wasn't intentional, that was just a bit of my OCD. I like to keep an organized workspace, and they just happen to always line up where they're facing perfectly the camera. I'm not sponsored in any way by Rigid, although I will say I'm very pleased with my Rigid tools. There's our basic box. I got these Rigid drills as part of a 5-piece kit. Includes the drill driver here, the hammer drill, circular saw, a reciprocating saw, and flashlight. It was a $300 kit from Home Depot. I picked it up in May and used it to finish up a couple projects around the house before we sold our old house. But this is the first major project I've gotten to use them for since then, and I am absolutely loving them. Alright, so there we go. We got plenty of pocket holes there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Top and bottom, 3 on the sides. That'll do it. I'm going to paint this cabinet, so there will be a follow-up video to this where I will go over sanding, priming, and painting. I am going to do a gray paint to do a really nice contemporary look, so be on the lookout for that follow-up.